Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Footprints. I'm your host, Anthony Davis. I'm an educator at BHS, that's Beverly High School, for those folks who don't know. And joining me today on the show is the man, the myth, the legend.
You know.
He is a wellness teacher at Beverly High School and a colleague of mine. This is Kevin Keilty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kevin Keilty to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Tony.
Listen, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you were able to come in. Well, you know who's talking real right now? We have another celebrity amongst us, another celebrity. This would be Snoop. This is, of course...
D-O-double-G, you know.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Keilty's pet. And Snoop is a little bit of a celebrity. We love Snoop, and we're glad he's here with you as well. Let's get to it really quickly now. A couple of rapid-fire questions.
Yes, sir.
Meditation or movement?
Movement.
You say movement. Why?
Yeah.
You like to move, dance, shake it up?
Listen, Tone.
I think Snoop does.
Listen, have you ever seen my dance moves?
I have not. Well, actually, no, that's true. I have seen your dance moves.
You have seen them.
Yes,
Every kid in the high school has seen my dance moves. I can moonwalk, I can shake, I can boogie.
Oh,
Snoop,
yeah.
I'm talking about my boogie.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, movement. Movement makes you feel good.
It always does.
Meditation does too, but for me, my mind's too active.
Yeah,
for
man.
all that. Like, maybe I should do that, but no. When I can, like, I want, as we talked about earlier, American Idol.
We're going to get to that in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll get to it because
How
I
about
love
journaling or jamming?
Jamming.
Oh, yeah,
Come
jamming,
on,
baby.
Jamming all day.
Little Bob Marley, baby.
You know it.
We love it. How
Let's
about
go.
tofu or tacos?
Tacos.
Yeah, you got to have Taco
I don't even know
Tuesday.
what tofu is.
Yeah, me either. It's terrible stuff. How about pep talk or silent stare of judgment? Ooh.
Oh, I'll go with pep talk.
Yeah, I got to give it pep talk as well.
Yeah, my mom gives me the silent stare of judgment all the time, but so I'll go with pep talk.
No doubt. So speaking of your parents, what do your parents do for a living, and how did you get into education, Mr. Keilty?
It's funny you ask that because my mom has owned a nursery school in New York. They live in Syracuse for 30 years.
Wow.
She's getting up, like she's ready to retire, but she started the business herself when we moved there in 1988. And so she's been doing that. So she's been a teacher, runs her whole business. She was an inspiration.
For you?
I'm gonna start crying. Holy crap!
Oh no, it's cool.
No, but she she does so much, and so she got me into it. Not really got me into it, but my older sister's a teacher, and actually my younger sister works at Magical Beginnings, which is a school in Peabody, like a nursery school daycare type thing. She runs that.
Okay.
So it's like my aunt's a teacher. I actually work with another aunt, Ann Flaherty, who's another teacher. So it runs in the family.
It runs in the family.
Yes.
So
those who can't do, teach.
I love it. So think about this: a lot of footprints implanted on you in terms of you heading into education, because you had those examples already that were set before you, which is a really, really cool thing. We love that, especially with footprints.
Well, I went to school I went to Ithaca College and went for sports management, and I couldn't get a job like right after school. Well, I got a job, but it was in finance. And after sitting in a cubicle for a year or two,
he's like, no, that's not for me.
I wanted to coach.
Yep.
I wanted to I would take my lunch breaks and go read like John Wooden books and stuff.
Yeah.
And just wanted to coach. And so after like 2 years, I started permanent subbing in Salem and turned into a job in Gloucester, and then turned into a job in Beverly,
and here we are.
The rest is history.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Gloucester because I actually had my oldest son, I believe.
Yes, I did.
In a wellness class.
Yes, sir.
I had
way
no
back
idea
what I was doing.
Yeah, well, he didn't either.
Don't.
He doesn't either. So we're there with that. So that's pretty cool stuff to think about, right?
Yes.
Full circle moment right there. What do you think wellness teachers practice more so? Do they practice what they preach? Do they have like a secret stash of Doritos in their back? What is it? What do you think? Is that a thing?
Don't even get me started. Listen, okay, so I always say, do as I say, not as I do.
Okay, there you go.
But that's the struggle for any kid, like,
No
or any
question.
person. It's like, yeah, I know what you're supposed to do, but life doesn't always work out that way.
Right.
So yeah, it's great to be active and it's great to be do what you do, but a lot of times it doesn't work out, and you struggle sometimes. So yeah, I've made mistakes in my life. A lot of the stories I tell in school are like I say it's someone else, but it's me. But
yeah, it's fine.
I think most of us like try to practice what we preach in a way, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
No question. Nor is being a wellness teacher.
Yeah.
So how do you explain your job to someone who is just sort of thinking, oh, he's just going to light a scented candle and that's it? How do you explain what wellness is all about and what you do for a living?
So wellness is just... So things have changed. So I've been teaching for 21 years.
Wow.
Things have changed. Everyone says COVID, but it really was... It's COVID plus cell phones. Cell phones has changed all of us. It's like ding, 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 ding constantly. People are on their screens constantly. Like, I'll post something about Snoop on Instagram and wake up at like 2 a.m. with like wicked anxiety. Like, why did I post that?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
So these kids go to school and like so when I left school, when I was in high school, the day was over. All the stuff was over.
Right.
Nowadays, there's no escape.
Yeah, that's right. It's just an ongoing situation,
ongoing.
right?
Like, no matter what happens, like,
Yeah.
it just like half the stuff happens outside of school. So, it becomes overwhelming. So I think cell phones have changed it. COVID changed it a little bit. But what was the question? Jesus.
You're getting to it.
Listen, I have ADHD
I was just asking
as well.
how it's changed over the years in terms of
so
the way you
it's
view wellness.
So right now, like, the big thing is SEL, like social emotional learning, and you have all these kids, and this was before too, but they all come in with, they're leaving their house and they're their mom's yelling at them or their cell phone's not charged or whatever. It can go either way, but they come in with all this baggage.
Yeah, so I can give you a little perspective on that. So I have 7 kids.
Okay.
My oldest daughter's about to be 40 this year, right?
How old are you, bro? What the hell?
I look pretty good, right?
Yeah, you do. You do.
So social media wasn't a thing like 20 years ago. It was just kind of getting some traction. And my youngest son is going to be 20 this year.
Okay.
And what's interesting is social media for him is all he's ever known, right? It's all he's ever known. A chat and this and that and all these groups, right? Where my daughter, she's like, I used to call someone on the phone. She used to be that person, right? Yeah. And now it kind of shifted a little bit for her. So these kids are bombarded with that constantly as far as social media goes. Yes. And so they're always in the void, I say. Like they're in it all the time. And there's no escape at all.
Well,
right?
School should be the escape.
It should be. And that's one of the biggest things we need to concentrate on.
I've been preaching that for years.
Yeah, no question. Tell me, what's one of the weirdest, most surprising things a student has ever said to you in your class?
Oh, God. I don't think I can say it on this.
Oh, you probably can. Kind of paraphrase it for us a little bit. Give us something strange they may have said.
So my first year teaching, I was teaching the reproductive systems.
Okay.
And we were talking about...
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, we were talking...
Even he knows where this is going.
We were talking about pregnancy and fertilization and how that happens. So this is so inappropriate. So,
let's move on to something else.
So,
let me ask you this.
Can I be inappropriate?
No, we're not being inappropriate.
I won't tell
this
that
is PG-13.
Well, it was just, if somehow it gets fertilized by 2 different people.
Yeah.
can you have twins that are different races?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
And no, it is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. You
That's
can
a
have
thing?
twins that one's white or one's black.
You're
one's
kidding me.
Yes.
Get out of here. I just learned something new today.
You want me to teach you why?
I think so. I might have to rewind that.
So there can be 2 eggs released at the same time, and then one of them can stay in the fallopian tubes and be fertilized by another sperm. But they grow in the uterus at the same time.
Imagine that. So we just learned something new today. At least I did, right? For a wellness teacher.
First year teaching.
How
That's
about
the question I got. And I go, okay.
Perfect. So
give me a sec. I go, give me a sec. I'll get back to you.
Let me reel this in a little bit.
Oh, this is getting crazy.
Oh, I love it. So tell me something now about yourself, Kevin, that nobody knows.
That nobody knows.
Yeah, give me something kind of quirky, could be kind of funny, something that nobody knows about you that we're about to find out.
I mean, I'm very famous at this point because of Snoop. So
yeah, no doubt.
People know everything.
No question.
But something that kids don't know about me, because people get put into boxes a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm a phys ed teacher. I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
But I got into art and painting
a
couple years ago. And so that became a thing for me.
Oh, no doubt.
Hey,
what's up, Snoop?
The arts, music, all that stuff is something that I'm passionate about. So I started painting about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I haven't really painted much lately, but
so that's basically a hobby of yours that you get into, and you like to do that, which is really good.
Keeps my mind busy, and it's good. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but some of the stuff looks good.
That's okay. Listen, it's a great mental exercise to take yourself away and get outside yourself and just kind of let go.
Yeah.
That's really what you want to do, right?
I haven't painted since I got him, though.
Snoop keeps you pretty busy.
Yes.
Because he's a superstar.
He is.
He's a celebrity, that's right.
He's way more famous than I am.
No question. Now, if high school students had to sort of teach a wellness class or a wellness lesson, what do you think they would focus on? What do you think they would pick?
So the big thing, going back to your other question too, is the big thing now is just getting kids off their phones and
huge.
off their screens and just moving, because it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that they're on their phones.
No question about that.
And for 84 minutes or whatever during the school day, coming to a wellness class, if you can just get off your phones and be active, that's the most important part. So I think kids would focus on that. I've asked the question, if there was an off button for everyone you knew for their phones, and you could do it for 5 hours, 6 hours, the whole day, whatever, how many of you would push the button? Every hand went up.
Wow.
Because they need the break too.
They do. They got to decompress. No question.
The FOMO is real. So if they don't have their phone, but they know other people do, they feel like they're missing out on something.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing for kids is they want the off switch, but there is no off switch.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is kids get a little bit just discombobulated with their thinking, because they're always on it, and there's someone always sending them a message, or they're dinging, they're looking here, and it's really hard to decompress and unplug, because you're so involved with what's going on. You think you might miss something, like you said, and it's really true with kids.
Yeah, as an adult, it'll be midnight, and I'm on my phone, and I'm going, what am I doing? I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to just chill out, but you're on the phone. It doesn't allow you to do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to put it down.
Put it down. Turn it off.
Put it down. Turn it off. Get away from it.
Now, mind you, I did turn off my phone, one time, and I just needed to, as you said, decompress or whatever. Yeah. My mom thought I was dead.
Oh no!
Because I wasn't answering the phone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because at some point we're required or obligated to be accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's when did that happen?
Yeah.
But if you don't respond to a text, it's what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. People get a little.
And that's stressful in its own right.
Oh, no question about that. So let's get a little bit real here.
I'm always
but
real,
still,
baby.
we're still going to smile a little bit.
Okay.
So what's something you wish more students kind of knew about taking care of themselves when it comes to wellness that isn't really covered in a textbook? Something that you wish they really knew.
That they really knew?
Yeah, if they knew like about taking care of themselves.
That
more.
life is tough.
Okay.
And
It's definitely not covered in a textbook. It is tough. You're right.
no, life is tough. Like, and no one gives a crap. Right?
You were correct,
Nobody
sir.
cares. Like, so you can spend your whole life making excuses and whining about stuff, but in the end, no one gives a crap.
Right.
Like, if you want your life to be a certain way, make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, no question
Make it
about
happen,
that. I
Captain,
agree with
right?
that 100%.
And it's like I struggle with that. Like we all struggle with
We
that.
do.
But kids think it's just going to be like it's instant gratification, so they think it's just going to happen.
Yeah,
And
it's not.
you know, it's not going to happen. You're going to have struggles. You know, you're not going to win the lottery.
No.
You're not just going to meet someone that just has tons of money.
Right.
Like you got to work for. You want something, you got to work for it.
Yeah, I've always had that, and it's funny we talk about that because the footprints for you getting an education were instilled in you and your family, and the same thing with me. My parents instilled that in me. Like I always tell the story, like I would go to practice and I'd come home after a long practice and then been in school all day, and my dad goes, "Listen, I know you've been in school all day, and I know you went to practice and all this, but hey, today's word, Tony, is fossil. I want you to use that in a sentence." I'm like, "Oh, come on, Dad.
Come on,
Do you know what I
do this to
mean?
me right now?
Yeah, what are you doing to me?" So, but it's interesting, right? So I didn't see the value in that then because you're a kid and you're like, yo, my dad is bugging me. What's going on? But as you get older and you go through life and you see, wow, he was preparing me for some stuff that I'm really gonna need later on down the line. And for me, it was really important for him to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was really good for me.
Yeah. So like one of the things like I say to kids all the time is, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on, if you spend your life every day like trying to make someone else's life better, like bringing the good vibes, like just saying hi to someone. Like I walk him all the time, and I'll see people on the street, and it's like I start meeting him. How are you doing? Like,
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah.
Everything good. It's just that personal connection and just being positive about things because life's tough as it is.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Keilty, when you say that, it's really true. If you put yourself in somebody else's spot, you never know what they're going through.
Never.
It's always nice to be able to, that hi or that, how you doing or how's it going or that smile to that person could turn that whole day around for them.
It goes a long way.
You know it does. And most people don't realize that, but it really does do just that. So how do you stay grounded during sort of a chaotic day when things are kind of going off the rails, especially when someone's like sort of like, I don't know, throwing a dodgeball at your head or, you know what I mean, doing something like that or,
Or I'm getting concussions by kids in school.
Yeah.
No.
How do you team build, basically?
So like I stay grounded. Like music is big for me. Anderson .Paak. Shout out to Anderson .Paak.
Hey, okay.
You know him? Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, I know.
Come on now.
Okay. All right.
No, music's great, but I also play golf.
Okay.
And I take him to the golf course with me, and being outside and being in that sort of environment is definitely something that keeps me healthy, gets me outside the house.
Okay.
Everyone's a photographer nowadays, but
All right, Snoop.
okay.
He said, yeah, take a picture of me.
Yeah, right. No, he knows when you're taking a picture of him, but like photography is something I think I miss my calling on. But I feel like I have an eye for it. So I'll take him for a walk when I really don't want to go outside. And then I'll end up getting outside and I'm looking up and I'm like, look at the stars. Yeah. The stars are beautiful.
You're fine.
And you see beauty in the world.
No question.
And I just think nature is a huge solution to a lot of things we're going through.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So now, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If your wellness class had a mascot,
yes, sir.
what would it be?
Snoop.
And don't tell me it's
D-O-double-G.
It would be, well, I was going to say it's not a sleepy sloth with a water bottle, right? No, nothing like that? Okay, it would be Snoop D-O-double-G for sure.
The mascot. What do you mean by mascot, though?
If your wellness class was like, hey, you know how there's like the wildcat or the tiger or the bear? What would the mascot be for your particular? It's got to be Snoop.
It would be some version of Mr. Buckets, which is what they call me, because I haven't missed a 3-point shot in Beverly High School
indeed.
except for that game that I played.
Yeah. What happened?
They face guarded me, bro.
Yes, indeed. So, in case you don't know, Mr. Keilty's talking about the alumni game where he should have scored, but he did not.
No,
but that's okay.
I almost got I got injured 3 times. So let's just say that.
Okay, so think about this. Finish the statement.
Yes, sir.
High school wellness matters because
kids need it.
Okay.
They need it. Wellness is wellness. You can't do well in school. You can't have good relationships with your family and your friends. You can't get into hobbies and interests unless you're feeling good about yourself and you're physically well, you're mentally well. You just can't.
Yeah.
So
it's all connected, right?
It's all connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to find things that you're passionate about. You got to find things that give you enjoyment. Because if you don't, right now, if I didn't, what would I do? I'd go home and probably zone into some TV show.
Exactly.
Try to escape. But escaping is not really, it's not always the best. I think that helps sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. You need that. You need to be able to decompress.
You in the podcast, right? This is your passion.
This is my passion and my escape. I love it.
So you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
It keeps you focused and motivated. So you need to find something.
Yeah. I think that's important for everybody to find. My parents used to say you got to get in where you fit in, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's one of the best parts about being who you are and being your authentic self. And if you're that, I think that'll shine through. People will see just who you are.
It's funny you say that because one of the things I've said before is people are never happy until they admit to themselves who they are. And they're okay with it. And once, any of the movies that it's the journey of someone going through their life, they're never content or happy until they say, all right, I'm okay with who I am.
I'm okay, yeah.
Right? And I think that's huge.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah.
Because once you have that self-discovery, now it's you can be good with the world. So my parents used to say this to me. They would say, when you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom and you look in the mirror, who's looking back at you?
Yeah.
You're looking at yourself, right?
Because that's the most honest person in the world.
Right there. So
Yes,
they say to me, and they used to say this to me, if you're good with yourself and you know who you are, now you can be good when you go out into the world and spread that. That'll bring that sunshine to those other people, right? And so that's really what we try to do as educators, as you know, at BHS. And we try to leave footprints on our students the best we can, right? So speaking of that, who were some of the educators who left footprints on you when you were coming up? Grade school or maybe high school?
Well, in elementary school, I had a teacher. She was, her name was Miss Shear, and she said to me, you're going to be a lawyer someday. She goes, because you can talk your way out of anything. And it happened in college, too, where it was we shouldn't have to do this assignment because of blah, blah. And then she goes, oh God, okay, you're right. And then, you know what I mean? So, people like that. But as a teacher, there was a guy at Gloucester, Mr. Eppel.
Oh yes.
So
I know Mr. Eppel.
Yeah. So I didn't.
Fun fact, Mr. Eppel has my granddaughter right now.
Oh really?
Yes. Kyla Rubin Davis.
So it was my first year teaching. I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I've never been in a classroom. So because I did everything sort of backwards to become a teacher. So I didn't know what I was doing. And he sort of showed me the way and showed me the passion and enthusiasm that he had.
Well, his class is really great. I mean,
I haven't talked to the guy in 15 years, but no, he was.
He was right there for you, present, giving you everything you needed.
Yes.
You had to succeed, and that's what you need. You need somebody to show you the ropes.
And then I got to give a shout out to my boy Larry Jacobs.
Okay,
Larry. Larry's my mentor.
All right. So tell us a little bit about him. How did you guys meet, and how did he become your mentor?
So I was teaching. I was at the old Briscoe for 5 years, and you have to do a mentorship program. So he ended up being my mentor, and he was a phys ed teacher, and he plays golf. So we became pretty tight. I still talk to him all the time, but no, he showed me the ropes.
Nice.
Yes.
You need somebody like that to show you around, to really give you the lay of the land, right? So you can get it all right, and then you take it and do it your way, right? Because he probably has a certain way of doing things, and now you do too, right? But he gave you the lay of the land. He gave you the fundamental stuff.
And I feel like I tried to pass it on, like, you know, Mr. Bren.
Oh, of course.
Bren. So, you know, he's new to teaching, and I think he came into the building, and me and him became pretty close, and he saw that I might not be the best with curriculum and, you know, lesson planning and all that, but my focus was on the kids.
Right.
And creating those connections and relationships with kids. And he was like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay.
That's what you want.
Right. And it's okay to do that because that's important. So, you know, you try to pass it on. And
there's no question. I think personal relationships with kids is really important this time.
Can't do anything.
I mean,
it's a baseline.
Yes, when you're in education, that was the thing. And back when we went, it wasn't that. It was like you had to get the information into the kids, and that was it.
And you don't need that anymore.
No, you don't.
Like Google, you can just Google it.
Yes,
you don't need to dump information.
Exactly. I think being personal and understanding someone else's like plight or whatever it is that they're going through is really important. What's your wellness mic drop moment? Have you ever had one of those where you had a wellness mic drop moment? Maybe something you've said or taught that landed. You're like, bam! I just did that.
So me teaching them how to moonwalk, does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
It took me 2 years to figure it out, but the funny part is I can dance. I told you guys I can dance, but when you think about it,
rhythm guy.
I got rhythm, right? But when you think about dance moves, like I'm not that good. Like my mind sort of. So I had a girl that was in my class, and she knew how to moonwalk, and she taught me. But it took me a while to get over, you know, that brain block of how to do it.
Right.
And now it's like a thing. So yeah. So Michael Jackson, shout out. No, I'm just playing. But no, like, so that's one of the things, like, you know, just when you know, I teach kids how to shoot sometimes. It's like in the golf course. Like, I'm a way better teacher of the game than I am a player. Yeah. But when you give someone a little tip, and then they crush it down the middle, it's like,
you're like,
let's
yay!
Go. Someone pay me for this.
I did that.
You know? But that, I mean, that's what gets you going.
No question.
Or a kid that comes up to you and, you know, I had a kid, I don't want to mention his name, but he didn't even go to Beverly High, but he played at the golf course, and he was extremely overweight. And, you know, and he was quitting after like 9 holes, and he had plantar fasciitis or whatever.
He had everything going on.
He had all of it. And then, so I said to him, I go, listen, you can make excuses for your weight and go through the rest of your life, like saying, oh, well, I'm injured. I got this, I got that, I got the other thing. And again, back to what we said, no one cares. Right. So what do you want for your own life? Right. I saw him the other.
Yeah, Snoop said, you saw him?
He comes up to me. I'm walking him the other day, and he comes up, gets out of his car, and runs up to Mr. Keilty, or, you know, whatever, Keilty. And I go, what's up, dude? Didn't know who it was. And then I look at him, I go, oh, my God. He lost like 150 pounds.
Wow. So there's inspiration right there. So you put a footprint on him. Just by giving him that little encouragement.
And he goes, it's because of you. And I'm
See
like,
that?
Jesus.
So that's what I love. And that's how we pay it forward as educators, right? You want to be able to do that, right? Snoop's like, well, what are we doing? We're not paying it forward. But we are. You're doing a great job with that. And I think what's important is now he's going to remember you, right? Maybe he graduates 5 years down the line. He'll be like, you know what? I had a wellness teacher that really kind of helped me over a tough time in my life. And that's the most important aspect of what we do as educators, right? Leaving those footprints on our students and making sure they understand we care about them.
And you can't forget about the fact that you've been through tough times as well.
100%.
So have I, and like we all have.
Yeah, everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody's got an issue or some adversity they've gone through, right? The thing is, that adversity shapes who you are.
Yes,
and
sir.
And it's like you're like a piece of coal, and all of a sudden you become a diamond, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what happens. And I always remember this, what my parents said, how you make other people feel about themselves says a lot about you. So what I try to do is I always try to put myself in someone else's shoes, no matter how dire my day might be going, like to hell in a handbasket, but it doesn't matter. I want to make sure that that person that I come in contact with has a good time with me and understands that I understand that they're having an issue, and if I can help them through that, I'll do the best I can to do that. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what we're here for, to help each other out in whatever that journey is.
I
now,
completely agree.
If you had unlimited funds,
okay,
and you and Snoop were going to go on vacation somewhere, where would you go and why?
Do I have to bring him?
You don't have to bring him if you don't want to. You don't have to. Do you have a significant other?
Why are we going to ask these
Well,
questions?
I'm just saying, you're going on vacation.
Can we cut this part?
I'm just saying.
No, but if anyone's interested. No. At this point, I do not.
That's all right. That's why I said you and Snoop. You guys are going on vacation.
I know, but
where
come
you
on.
going?
I'm too good looking tonight.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
My number is 6'1". No.
555.
You're going to cut half of this, aren't
So
you?
where would you go on vacation? All right, you don't have to take Snoop.
Where would I go on
You're just
vacation?
going to go ahead. No, money's no object.
I got two options.
All right, where would you go?
Somewhere warm,
Okay.
like a beach.
Definitely
Something
somewhere.
like
Okay.
Or I'd go to, like, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh.
And go skiing.
Skiing?
I'm a skier,
So it's
yeah.
either or
It's one
for
of
you.
the,
Oh, I
it's
like that.
It's hot or cold.
All right.
Come
That's pretty cool.
I don't need to see the sights. I'm not a sightseer. I'd love to go to Italy, although I'm all Irish. I'd love to go to Italy. I don't need to go to Ireland.
No?
It's cold and rainy and wet.
I would like to go to Dubai if I had the funds.
All right.
For some reason, the Celtics went to Dubai last.
Japan would be cool.
Japan, maybe, not so much.
Food would be great.
A lot of traffic, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to try to get away. It's a vacation.
I'm not a traveler.
No, me either. I'm not either.
Yeah.
But if
I'm a
I had the
homebody.
money, I would do that. I would go to Dubai.
I like
or go
being
there.
home.
And how about this? Just one final question for you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This has been very enlightening and very fun for me. If you had the choice to go on a dinner date with anybody, dead or alive, famous, not famous, doesn't matter who it is, actor, sports celebrity, who would it be and why?
Snoop D-O-double-G.
Of course you would go on with Snoop Dogg. Why wouldn't you?
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, for sure.
I would love to hang out with Snoop
And so
Dogg.
what would you ask Snoop Dogg? What would you ask him if you guys are sitting at dinner?
What would I ask
What are some of the things he'd say, I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
He's asking him. He
I
said, I'm asking questions.
Sorry.
He's going over.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What would I ask Snoop?
What would you ask Snoop D-O-double-G?
If I can get a $50,000 check.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I think he's got
Actually,
enough.
I should ask for more. Right?
Yeah, you got to go more. You got to go 100,000, 200,000. Yes, indeed.
No,
That'd
but-
be a fun dinner to be at, though, right?
Yeah, no. Like
Humble beginnings. Ask him how he
him,
started, right?
Shaq. I'd have
Shaq?
Shaq would be
Oh,
interesting.
please. I'd love to have dinner with Shaq.
Maybe a former president.
Yeah, hopefully, Shaq, if you're listening, please come on my
Tony
podcast.
Davis. I'd take him.
Yeah, that guy's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, you know.
I know that guy.
He's got stories on stories.
He does indeed. And we love them all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that time where it's time for us to go. And I had such a great conversation today with my friend and colleague and wellness teacher at BHS, Mr. Kevin Keilty. Thank you for joining us
Mr.
today.
Buckets, you know.
Yes, indeed. It was so much fun. And don't forget to catch us on all the streaming services, Spotify, Podbean.
Come on, you gotta
all of
know
them, of
this
course. I know, of
information.
course. I got to know all these things, right? And Cast, Overcast, all of them. Find us at your favorite streaming services, and also Channel 22. This episode will be posted.
Well, thank you
there
for
as well.
having me, Tone.
No, thank you for being
TD,
here.
baby, let's go.
I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with this question. It might be two questions, but I'm going to leave you with the first one. The first one is, who left a footprint on you, and what are you doing with it? I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.